Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to this video. In the previous videos, we've seen that how do you go about purchasing machines on Amazon, how to connect machines, how to install Java and MySQL, how to install Hadoop and set up a Hadoop cluster. It's time for us to now test the Hadoop cluster, understand the components of a cluster, and make sure that everything is up and running. Now, how do you really verify if Hadoop is up and running? Majorly three ways. First, from the command line, you run a JPS command to verify if all the services are up. Second, from the browser, verify if everything is coming up. And third, try to run a MapReduce program. In this particular video, we are going to test all three, as well as we will see that, or we'll ensure that we are able to run a MapReduce program and also understand some MapReduce components. So let's get going. First thing is, let's connect to these machines and check with JPS that all the services are up or not. So we first connect to machine number 1, machine 2, machine 3, machine 4. So here we are connected to Delhi. Here we are connected to Mumbai. Here we are connected to Kolkata. Here we are connected to Chennai. So the first way to verify if cluster is up or not, there is no direct way. What we'll have to do is we'll have to first run a JPS command to see individually all machines are having all the services that are required. So here we see name node, data node, node manager are up. Here we see node manager, data node and secondary name node up. Here we see resource manager, data node and node manager up. And here we see job history server, data node and name node up. Data node and node manager up. So looks like all services are up on individual nodes. But that's not enough because we will also have to verify if this is running as a cluster or not. For that, we will have to go to the browser and check it. Now, to do that, what we'll have to do right now is we'll have to visit the public IP of the machine. But every time remembering public IP of Delhi or Kolkata is going to be cumbersome. So we will use the local host file on Mac and we will add the entries. Now in Windows, the file is located in C Windows System 32 etc host. In Mac, it is private etc hosts. So get your public IPs from Amazon UI and you put them here. So what we get is, this is the public IP of Delhi, this is Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai. So add this to your local Mac or Windows so that you can directly access it from the UI. Let's quickly check it. When you do ping Delhi, you should get a response. When you say ping Mumbai, you should get a response. It's good enough. Then you do ping Kolkata and then ping Chennai. So we are able to ping all the three machines. So first, we verified on individual machines services are running. So that's like check number 1. We've then added host entries so that from the browser I don't have to put public IP every time. So we've done that and we are able to ping the machines. Now it's time to go to the browser and see if HDFS is up and Yarn is up. Once both of these are up, we will understand some components and finally work towards running a simple MapReduce job. So let's get going. So in the browser, we'll say Delhi 50070 and bang. What we see is that the name node is up. The name node was started on December 19th. This is the version of Hadoop that we are using. Now, this is the block pool ID. We'll see what is a block pool ID and the cluster ID. We don't have any security enabled and safe mode is off. The entire capacity of this cluster is 63 GB. That means we fired 4 machines. Add all 4 machines together, you get 63 GB of entire storage. Out of which we've given 16 GB for non-HDFS, that is operating system and everything on each machine, and 46 GB will be for HDFS. So our Hadoop file system can store up to 47 GB of data. It can store up to 47 GB of data. The amount of DFS remaining is 74%. Currently we have 10 files and directories. Technically there are 10 directories and we don't have any files created so far. Importantly, there are 4 live nodes. That is, there are 4 data nodes. So when you click, what you realize is that there are 4 data nodes: Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and Delhi. You see their last contact, how many seconds before they had contacted. All 4 are in service. The capacity of the cluster is 15.75 and the non-DFS storage used is 4.05 and the remaining DFS is 11.69 on each machine. So what you really see is that 4 data nodes, how they give space to HDFS, and this becomes an entire file system. Let's quickly look at few more things. First, you can browse the entire file system right from the browser. You can click on any folder and see what is inside it. So you can browse by clicking on utilities and browse the file system. Next is you can view the logs. So now what it shows you is that the logs that are generated on this particular machine. So on our Elephant we are running name node and these are the name node logs. If there is an error condition, you can see that. So there is no need to go to the logs from the command line. Name node or Delhi is also running the data node, so that's data node logs. Secondary name node is not running right now, so that's why you would see that it was last updated on December 19th. We are not running it anymore here. Next, click on data nodes and what you see that these are 4 data nodes. You can visit each and every data node and verify what's happening. So to visit a data node, you simply say the URL, that's let's say Mumbai, and the port number 50075. What it basically shows you is that the data node is actually up and running. It only shows you the fact that yes, data node is already up and running. So that way you can be sure that all the data nodes are running. All the data nodes are running. Okay, great. The next thing we'll be seeing is, we've seen the logs and here we are looking at the entire overview. The next thing we are going to see is that right now the name node data is written on home disk 1 DFS and home disk 2 DFS and this is where the data node is getting written. So this is all about your name node and data node. This testifies the fact that your HDFS, that's name node, data node and secondary name node, is perfectly up and running. It's now time to go and look at the YARN services. Now our YARN is running on port number 8088 and it's running on a machine called as Kolkata. So once you hit Kolkata, what you see is that the cluster is up. There are 4 active nodes and totally there is 32 GB of RAM available. There are 4 active nodes and when you look at it, you see the nodes are Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai and Mumbai. We haven't submitted any of the applications, that's why we are not able to see it. When you click on local logs, what you see is the logs of the node manager and resource manager on Kolkata. So you can view the logs directly from here. So this is all about your YARN. Now we can also individually visit each and every node manager and look at the status of it. So on Delhi there is a node manager running. It has 8 GB RAM. Okay, and this is the version of Hadoop that's deployed. You can view the logs of Delhi individually by clicking on local logs and you can see status of each and every process. So far we have not submitted any application, and that is why we are not seeing any apps here. Once we submit apps, we will see how apps can be seen and how job history server will come into picture. Job history server will come into picture. So this is all about name node, data node, resource manager, node manager, and everything is kind of up and running. It's safe to say that now it's time for us to submit a new MapReduce program. And once we submit MapReduce program, we can test these things. But before that, let's spend some time understanding what's really happening in the background when you create a name node, data node, or resource manager and node manager. So let's first start with the fact that when you look at HDFS site.xml, the name node directory that we have configured is home disk1 dfsnn. This is where the name node is actually storing its data. Within that, you see a folder called as current. And within current, what you see is the fs image file, and you see the edits file, which is currently being updated, The edits that is in progress will show it as in progress. So this is brain of the system. This is something that needs to be backed up. This is like the metadata of the whole system. And the location has been configured by us when we are setting up HDFS site.xml. Now, this is all about name node. Where does data node store data? So the directory is home disk1 dfs dn. This is the location where data node will store its data. Currently, we have not created any blocks there, but we'll be seeing blocks once we create them. And this is the block pool ID. And within block pool ID, you will see a directory called current. And this is where your data would be going in the finalized. So right now we've not created any data, but once we create data, we will be coming back to this UI and seeing how to see the data. So that is how you see your name node and data node would work. Let's quickly look at, so there is no metadata for resource manager and node manager, so that's not required. What we really need to see is where are the logs getting stored. All the logs by default get to this folder called as where log. And in where log, you can find logs that are related to Hadoop HDFS and Yarn. So you say and here you see data that's pertaining to name node. So these are the logs that you can see from the UI, but this is the background path, and you can anytime visit from here. This is the logs of the name node, which are also available from the user interface, Alright, so these are all the components of HDFS. What we've seen is name node, data node, we've seen Yarn, we've seen how to visit the UI, and we've seen in the background how to look at the name node and data node locations. It's time for us to now run a simple MapReduce program. Once we run a MapReduce program, we will then verify how to look at the logs, the apps, and everything. So let's get going. So the first thing we need to do is, we've created our home directory, home root. Let's create some input data. So let's first verify. When we do Hadoop FSLS user root. So right now we have nothing. So we say Hadoop FS mkdir user root input. So we've created a new directory called input. In the input directory, let's dump some XML files. So we are dumping some XML files to this input directory. So within input, what we see is that we have 4 XML files. It's time for us to now run the program. Let's understand what this program is all about. This is a sample program that's coded by the developers of Hadoop. We just have to run it. The intention of this program is to search for anything that starts with DFS in this particular XML files. Let's quickly look at it. So when we look at input hdfs site.xml, so here we have something called as DFS. DFS name node name dir, DFS name node, DFS data node data dir. So what we are trying to see is show us all the strings that starts with DFS in this particular set of XML files. So let's run this program. Before that, we will have to ensure that MapReduce has access to Hadoop file system. Let's run this program now. So we are using a jar file that's created by the developers of Hadoop. We are not creating it. In that jar, we are trying to run a program called as grep, which will basically search. Our input is input, the output folder, and we say that we are interested in searching for anything that starts with DFS followed by any number or integer or dot. Let's run this program. So the program gets submitted. The job ID is 001. Program has started. It's time for us to go to Kolkata. And when you look at Kolkata, what you see is that the job has been submitted and shows the progress. Once you click on this, what you see is that app master was Mumbai. For this particular job, the app master was Mumbai. That's the first container. So you can look at the logs of Mumbai as a node manager. Now here logs have not come because we've got everything on the history. So after the job is done, you can actually look at the logs from history. So you click history, and what you see is that the job history server is running on Chennai, and this job ran with 4 mappers and 1 reducer. So this is where you will see the logs. So once we click on map, we see that there were 4 mappers. Click on any one mapper and you look at it that this mapper ran on Delhi. This mapper ran on Delhi, and here are the logs. This was all logs that were created for this particular task. So this is how you see the number of mappers that ran. You can look at the number of reducers that were 1, and reducer was run on a machine that was again Delhi. So what we've seen is once a job is run, you click on the history after the job is successful. It takes you to the Chennai server where you can see the number of mappers, the number of reducers, and the logs. Now, as an administrator, you might be interested someday to test the performance of your job, and to do that, you have something called as counters. Counters will give you all the statistics for a job. They'll give you statistics for all the everything that took place in the job. So let's look at this. file, number of bytes read. How many bytes were read from the local file system? During map it was 0, during reduce it was 70 bytes. So for this program what we read was 70 bytes during the reduce phase. Number of bytes written after the mapper was done was 44 or 4.4 or 400,000 bytes, and here you have a million bytes around that. Any large operations, we'll be just getting the status here, and number of read-write operations on HDFS. So number of bytes written on HDFS were 162 during the reduce phase. Along with that, you get stuff like how many map input records were there. So map input records were 450. Map input records were 226 here. The bytes were 450, but it was 226. Now physical memory used was this much, and you can also get data about the reduce phase. You can get data about the reduce phase also. So for example, reduce input groups were 2, reduce input records were 2 for this particular task. So what you see is the entire status of the job in a single snapshot. You can have separate information about mappers and reducers. So you look at the reducer task and it gives you information only about reducers. It gives you information only about the reducers. So you get information that you need for mapper or reducer. So that is how you see the logs, and that is how you trace the performance of the job. So what we've seen so far is, we've seen the fact that yes, once we buy machines on Amazon, how do we do that? We install Hadoop. We now see how to define name node directories, how to define data node directories, how data is getting written on HDFS, how you run a MapReduce program, how to test the logs, and how to also check the performance of the job using the job history server. In this case, name node is running on Delhi, secondary name node is running on Mumbai, Kolkata is running the resource manager, and job history server is running on Chennai. And data node and node manager is running on all the 4 servers. To view the logs, you can go to verlog folder, or you can verify the status of a job by looking at the logs from the user interface also. We can also browse the status of HDFS. Now the last thing in this video that we are going to look at is when you dump data into HDFS, how blocks are created and where they are created. So let's quickly look at that. Now our name node is running on 50070. Click and say browse file system. We've created some data in user root folder. So it's user root, and input folder we have these files. When you click on codesite.xml, it has only created one block and the size is this much. And if you look at it, it's Delhi, Kolkata and Mumbai. So codesite.xml is basically present in Delhi, Kolkata and Mumbai. So now let's look at this block from HDFS as well as from the background. So first we say Hadoop FS cat input codesite.xml. So we see this file, which is codesite.xml. Now if we have to see this in the background, what we'll have to do is say cd home disk1 dfs dn current block pool current finalized. In that you see a directory called as subdir, and within subdir you will see another subdir. This is where you see the blocks. When you do lsltr, you first go to this UI and see the block ID is something that ends with 41825. Here you will see 41825. This is your block, and once you cat that, you will exactly see that the same file is present in HDFS. So this is like the backdoor entry for us, and we see exactly same file. So what file you had in local file system, you dump into HDFS. You can view that file by seeing Hadoop FS ls or Hadoop FS cat. In the background, it's cut into pieces of 128 MB and it's spread across the cluster. And how to see that in the background, we've just seen in this particular case. So this was all about testing your cluster, and we've successfully verified that the cluster is up and running. So let's quickly revise what we've done so far. So far, we started this entire section by having a Windows or Mac machine, going to Amazon and renting 4 machines, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. After that, on all 4 machines, we installed Java, MySQL, Hadoop. After installing Hadoop, we updated the configurations on Delhi and copied it to all the 4 machines. As per the configurations, name node will be run on Delhi, secondary name node will be run on Mumbai, Kolkata will be the resource manager, and job history server will be Chennai. And slave nodes, that is data node and node manager, will run on all the 4 machines. We updated the configurations. As per configurations, we also started or created the folders. We then format the name node, that's Delhi. We then start name node on Delhi. We start data node on all 4 machines and secondary name node on Mumbai. That brought us to the end of HDFS setup. Next, what we did is on Kolkata, we started resource manager and we started job history server on Chennai, and we started node manager on all the 4 machines. So our HDFS was up and our yarn was also 100% up. The next thing to verify was, are the JPS processes appearing? Yes, they were appearing. Then we saw that on the UI, all the services were loading. Then we basically ran a simple MapReduce program. The intention to run MapReduce program was to test if everything is up and running. We ran a grep program where we had 4 XML files and we were trying to search for anything that starts with DFS. Once the program was submitted, we verified the program from the UI that everything ran successfully. We saw that there were 4 mappers running and there was 1 reducer running. We saw how to look at the logs of reducers, mappers, how to look at all the status of how much bytes were read and so on and so forth. After that was done, we also saw that once data is dumped into HDFS, how the blocks are getting created. At this moment in this course, we are 100% done with a 4 node setup. In the next videos, we are going to see that having Hadoop cluster setup is just the first step. And Hadoop and MapReduce is not everything. You would also want to run SQL queries on top of it. To run SQL queries, we will need Hive, Impala, and we will also set up Pig. So in the next videos, we are going to see how to set up Impala, Hive, Pig. We will also talk about how to set up high availability ahead in the courses, and how to set up U, which is the browser-based interface for Hadoop. So that was it from this video. Thanks for watching it.